Hey, what's up, guys? So, this channel is kind of supposed to be just wedding filmmaking stuff or tech gear talk. But Happy New Year. And this year, I want to be able to somewhat fix my relationship with my half brothers and my half sister from my dad's side. I was actually close to my sister when I was younger, but stuff happens. Yeah, so since I love making videos, why not start the year with an about me video? And like what I said, this will help me move on from these dark thoughts that still linger around my head. I'll begin this story when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and I was still living in the Philippines. And that's when I actually remember my mom holding me back at the door so that I won't run towards my dad as he was getting into the taxi. For some reason, this image is so clear in my head, as if I was already old when that happened, but I know I was young. So I was told that he was going to come here in the United States to look for a job so that we'll have a better life. Remember this, I was a kid, and of course, I didn't understand that. And no matter how many times my mom would explain it to me, I didn't want to understand. So that's when my anger kind of just started and kept growing. But I mean, my dad would come back every few years here and there, and I would always look forward to those moments. When I was in school, we had Parents' Day, and we would have to go in front of the class to discuss what our parents' job was. And I never knew what my dad's job was here, but I remember vividly that my mom would tell me he works at the hospital, so I just assumed that he was a doctor. That's what I would tell the entire class year after year. And everybody just seemed amazed because of the type of job that my dad was doing, and plus that he was here in United States. So that was my go-to move every year. Every year, because every grade that you go up in the Philippines, you would have to do these kind of things so that like your classmates would be able to get to know you. There was one time that I told him that he worked for Nike just because there was a photo that we received from one of the packages that my dad would send, and it was in front of the Nike outlet, I think, or just like a random Nike store. I guess I assumed that he will work for Nike. But I know when I was younger, I was angry that I had to lie in front of everybody because I didn't really know what my dad's job was. But now I get it. I mean, I think I understand why they never told me as a kid. And it was probably just to protect me from like the bullies to like pick on me, and that I'll feel embarrassed about what my dad's real job was. But I'll continue on about what his real job was later. So as days, months, and years go by, I've always looked up, like on the sky, like I would just look up, look, watch the planes, and hope that in one of those airplanes is going to land that day, and my dad was in it, so that I could spend time with him. But that was a kid's dream. And when he would go home to us, I remember him taking me to his friends. So, like when he would hang out with them, drink with them, gamble with them, or whatever, he would take me with him. But that was like totally fine with me because plus I get to spend time with my dad, and his friends' kids was my friends also. So I played with them. Um, I know I loved going to places with my dad also when I was a kid, whether it was to his friends or just to buy food at the market. And I replay those moments in my head all the time. All I wanted was for my dad to finally bring us here to the US, and finally have my family to be whole again. My dad, my mom, my little brother, and me. But so my dad worked day in and day out as a worker at a Filipino market, and it was at the fish department. He still drank alcohol, and he was eating very unhealthy, so he suffered stroke, and that permanently paralyzed half of his body. And I don't know why I was angry with him until we finally moved here in the US. But I despised him for being old, for being sick, and I was just mad at him. I was mad at him that he had all those, but I didn't know why. I didn't understand that those happen naturally, and he had no control of those from happening. But I mean, he could have, I guess, controlled or changed his eating habit, but whatever happened was meant to happen. And I can finally accept that. But, anyways, I was mad. I didn't assist him from doing the basic things that you do as a human being every day. And I wasn't understanding. And I wasn't a nice person towards my own dad. And I hate myself from being that way. So as years go by, my mom couldn't keep tending to my dad because the money that he would get from Social Security wasn't enough for the four of us. So then my mom would have to work, and my dad would just keep getting mad at my mom because she couldn't take care of him, but she had to work. And I didn't really help around the house too because I was in school, but I'm not gonna give any excuse for how it was, but I was a fucking dick. Then my half siblings and my mom decided to put him in the nursing home, and we just kept living our lives. Though my anger grew in me, this time it was more towards my half siblings. And I'm not gonna talk about why because it's personal and I don't wanna reveal their story here. It's my video, it should just be about me. I'll say this, I looked up to all of them growing up because they had houses, they had cars, they had beautiful and wonderful kids. So I looked up to them a lot and I wanted to grow up to be like them. But they did things that disappointed me and made me become mad at them for whatever they did. And I shouldn't have because it's their life. They could do whatever the fuck they want. And as a kid, I didn't understand that. But now I get it. Because of all that anger and the pride that I had, I wanted to prove them that I was better than them and they can't look down on us ever. So I didn't want to visit my dad at the nursing home, especially when they would come over and they would visit him. I didn't want to be around them. So fast forward to the last few years of my dad living in the home. This was probably 8-9 years ago. I told myself as I was just working, right? And the thought just came into my head that if he dies at that time, in my head, I said that I was probably gonna be okay just because I didn't really have a relationship with him and I didn't really know him. But then I could have, right? I could have had a relationship with him and I could have learned about him. And it's too late now. So when I was finally told by my mom and that my older half sibling reached out, this half sibling, my older brother, he would always reach out. He did whatever he could to try to get a message to us, to me, to go visit my dad because he misses us and all that. He did his best. He's actually my favorite brother because he was really nice and I fucked it up. So he told my mom that my dad was dying soon, and I didn't believe it was true just because, just because. After I found out that it was true, I finally went to go visit my dad with my younger brother on his deathbed. He couldn't move or speak anymore, and he gave me that look to go lay down beside him. But I didn't want to make him uncomfortable. I just told him to just rest, and we're here. So after that visit, a few weeks later, I heard another news that he passed away. So I tried everything that I could to find out if it was true, and I was able to reach out to my sister. And she broke the news to me, and it was true. My dad passed. I didn't know that that was the last time that I was gonna see him. And this was hard for me to film and share this story about me. Yeah, I don't care if this gets views by people or not. I just felt like I needed to share this story about me. And what saddens me the most is, as a wedding videographer, I make films, I create beautiful stories about couples. I don't have any videos or audios of my dad when he was alive. And I wish that I did. And I wish that I do have something so that I could relive those moments, whether I was in the picture, in the video or not. Just want to see him in a film alive. So it's about 4 years now since he passed away. And I still hope that I could fix my relationship with my siblings because I don't want to get old and die and I've never reconciled with them. And I still hope every night that my dad would come visit me in my dreams. But I came to a conclusion that he's probably not going to because he's mad at me for not visiting him when he needed me the most. So I get it if he's mad at me in the afterlife. So this is a long video. Till next time, see you guys. Peace out.